Shalom, 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 brothers and sisters. I'm going to show you some things in this day and age that we are battling from the past. Like they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. I'm going to show you some things today. Just bear with me. I was in a grocery store, and you go to a grocery store, you're standing in line, and you're looking at everything to your right, to your left, while you're waiting for the people to ring up their groceries, whatnot, in front of you. And you run across magazines, you run across candy, you run across diet watchers, you run across all these things. And while I was looking around, I ran into this magazine. This is called the National Geographic Kings of the Bible. Kings of the Bible. Now, look at the images. Like I said, a picture's worth 1,000 words. When you see these images, what comes to your mind? Are these the true images that the Bible speaks of? Or is it a false image? Now, most of you will say these are the images that the Bible speaks of because you're unlearned. But when you look at the Bible, it tells different. Okay? Many of you also think when someone confronts you and says, "Do you know what Christ looks like?" A lot of people will say, "Yes, I know what he looks like. He's a white man. He looks just like a Caucasian. He looks like he has a long beard. It's straight. He's feminine looking, effeminate. I say effeminate to make you feel better. Effeminate. He has long, straight hair. He has rosy cheeks. He has rosy cheeks, right? But you're not knowing that is the image of the beast. You know, they say he's a Caucasian man. But when you're confronted, you might not say Caucasian man because for what's been going on in the earth for about 15 years, people have started leaning towards the Arabs or Arabs as what Christ would look like. You're wrong again. Wrong again. But I just want to show you. Now, if you say Arabs, if Christ looked like an Arab man, these don't look like Arabs. That's Mary. That baby right there is the baby Christ, who we also say Hamashiach Yahushai. That is not Hamashiach Yahushai. That is not Christ. That is someone else. That is an imposter baby. That is an imposter Mary. Whoever that is, if that's Joseph, that is an imposter Joseph. There's a young black man there with the turban on his head. He is not, well, they came close to putting someone from Ethiopia that looks like him in here, but that's not what he looked like, right? And they got him as a boy. He looks like a young boy. He doesn't look like a man. Looks like a young boy that may have been a slave to these people. You know, they look at all smooth-faced black men as young boys. That's why we grow our beards. You notice they all have beards. Notice that? They all have beards. These are the three wise men. And when you read the scriptures never says it was three of them. It says it was many. So, wrong again. So these are not the kings of the Bible. I'm going to go into it. I just want to show you some things. This is what they call the Pharaoh. I got to laugh. The Pharaoh of Joseph, right? This is a Pharaoh. They consider this man to be the Pharaoh of Egypt. Now look at the back. What do you see? Don't you see images? Those are what the Egyptian slaves look like. They were black. This is supposed to be a slave, Edomite. Okay? These are not the Egyptians. These are not the Egyptians. This is not Pharaoh of the ancient dynasties of Egypt. This is not he. Especially during the time of Joseph. Joseph passed as Egyptian. So Joseph looked something similar to these men in the back. Okay? Now, all through this book, you got images. All right? They show Egypt, and they show Caucasian men pushing this idol. Caucasian. Now, that's the hottest region of the earth. Caucasians never dwelt in that land the way that these are dwelling. They dwelled in caves. They didn't dwell in the hot heat out in the open. Wrong again. Look at the hieroglyphics. Black men. Now the Egyptians, the scriptures tell you that the Egyptians are the blackest of the people of color. They are even darker than the Negroes. All right. Now they got all these different excavations and statues and right. But look at the images. These are their paintings. This is supposed to be Belshazzar. This is supposed to be Daniel. Okay, that's not Daniel. Daniel doesn't look like that. Daniel was amongst who? Babylonians and the Persians. Now that's right. This is Alexander the Greek, or they put the great because he's great to their nation. He conquered the world according to them. Okay, he was an Edomite, a Macedonian Edomite. A Macedonian, Amalekite. Same thing. Amalekite, Edomite, same thing. Same family. Amalekites were the grandsons of Esau. All right. So I'm going to go back because I want to show you the truth of the matter is that color does exist in the Bible. I don't even want to go through the rest of it. It's just idiotic. Going through this book. It's just, I bought it for teaching purposes. It's just idiotic. Okay? Because when you study the history of the world, you'll notice that everything took place out of Africa. Everything. Every people came out of Africa, but never was the Edomites in captivity. You see this man right here? You see how dark he is? Do you see his clothing? Does that look like he's a white man? If he was white, wouldn't his skin match his clothing? This says a statue from Thebes of the pharaoh I can't even pronounce it. Nepheptre Mentuhotep II, the second. The greatest, you see this, wait a minute. They call Alexander the Greek, they call him Alexander the Great, right? It's saying the greatest ruler of the 11th dynasty. Greatest. How come they don't talk about this man? He was a Hamite. He was not Shemitic. He was an Egyptian. Misraim is what the Bible quotes it to be. It says, who reunited Egypt and ruled for half a century. He wears the red crown of Lower Egypt because all Egyptians, after a while, they started getting dominated and they started moving to the south. But all Egyptians look like this, even in the northern Egyptian area. Before Alexander the Greek came, Alexander the Dummy, because they didn't have any literature before they came down to conquer the Egyptians and the Israelites. You know, they were men who would fight you with no clothes on. No clothes on. They might have a scarf around their waist. That's about it. So they would behoove you in the sight of battle, coming butt naked to fight you. Butt naked. And you wonder why our women wear no clothing today. Where do you think they got that from? And I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you the truth, because when you read the Bible in 2 Maccabees, it talks about how they caused our men to participate in sports and they wore nothing. The gymnasium. That's why when you look at a gym on some of these universities, you see naked statues in front of the gym. The Olympics was taking place. They were butt naked. So a lot of our brethren who were Israelites during those days were butt naked. Look at the athletes today. They don't wear anything. Basketball, they don't wear nothing. Football, they don't really wear nothing. Everything's tight. So, I mean, we gotta just think a little bit. Think, consider. Consider. Most High says consider. Let's find something else. Look at these Egyptians. All right? Look at that. Look how dark this Egyptian pharaoh was. Look at the servants of the Egyptian pharaoh. The braids or the brides. the brides of the Pharaoh. Unbelievable. You know. Again, here's some more. Look at the braids in their hair. Look at the young men in Egypt. That's a true Egyptian. Those are either Egyptians or slaves, which were Israelites. Okay? See the braids and the long braids? Come on, y'all. Think. The heathen always try to cause you to go astray. If you want to get this book, it's called The Ancient Egypt by David P. Silverman, General Editor. I've had this book a while. All the books that I have is for teaching purposes. That's the reason why I have them. But I just want to go into some more books because they will show you that the image of Moses was a white man. All right. You see what they put here? The king of Moses. See that? Now, Moses never looked like that. Moses was darker than Egyptians. That's why he passed as the Egyptian. Now, this doesn't look like this doesn't look like an Egyptian. This looks like a Caucasian man holding up a plaque, not the Ten Commandments. Because the Most High would never allow Edomite to hold up the Ten Commandments. They were precious. They were jewels in the sights of the Israelites. No one was able to hold on to that. If you know your history, you understand what I'm saying. Look at this. Now, this is the unknown catacombs, a unique discovery of early Christian art. Who were the real Christians? It was the Israelites. They were the real Christians. Okay, now this is over in Rome. Now, in the catacombs, there's images. As you see down at the bottom, it says Moses, what? Putting off his shoes. Look how dark Moses was. Look at his leg. You see the dark complexion? Now, you say, oh, well, it faded. Look at his robe. His robe is white. Come on. Come out of that brain dirtying, brain washing. Come on now. Look at the woolliness of his hair. Look at the dark complexion of his face. Now, it's worn down, so that would mean the paint would start to chip off. That's why it's white in certain areas. But he's a black man, a dark man. He's an Israelite, a Shemitic man. Look at this one. They don't even name what this is. This is figure praying. That could very well be Christ, Yahweh Shai. It could very well be him. He looks like he's speaking to a group. His hands are open. You know, when you speak, you open your hands, and sometimes you have to display, certain images with your hand to prove to people certain things or to catch their attention. All right? So it could very well be Yahweh Shai. But he's a dark man too. Look at that. Why would this be in the catacombs? The Israelites were hiding from the Romans. This is the time of their service on the Shabbat. Remember, in the book of Maccabees, it said what? That they were no longer able to keep their feast days or consider themselves to be a what? A Jew. Okay? From the tribe of Judah. Look at this one. Same thing. Orator, Israelite. Dark man. Over here. This is Job and his wife. Job was from the lineage of Christ. He was his great-great-great-grandfather. Do you see how dark that is? Now, the Israelites were leaving images behind to prove who they were. See, this is what we have to understand. Here's more images. I don't know who this one is. But, again, they're black men. It looks like Christ between St. Peter and St. Paul. That's what it looks like. So, again, wrong again on the kings of the Bible. False images. False images, okay? I just want you brothers and sisters to understand There are artifacts out there that prove that we are the Israelites. All right, let me show another book. Where do I want to go with this? Let me see. Bear with me, Akim. Bear with me. It's early in the morning. I woke up in the spirit, and I said, man, let me do this. It was bothering me. I'll tell you what. Let's go up to the Russian icons. Russian icons. Russia. This is in Russia. Russia icon. Wait a minute. 14th and 16th centuries. The truth is all around us. But none of you will read. The Bible says, blessed it is he that readeth. Blessed is he that readeth in Revelation chapter 1. Okay? Blessed is he that readeth. Look at this. And I'm not even reading to y'all. I'm showing y'all pictures. I'm showing you pictures. A picture's worth 1,000 words. All right, so it says here, St. Nicholas as the wonder worker. See that? From the church of this is our brethren up in Rome. These are men who we call, this is supposed to be what they call Santa Claus. Who do you think they stole the story from Santa Claus from? A brother that was an Israelite that was living in Rome. St. Nicholas. That's who they stole Santa Claus from. Black man. See that? Look at the color of his skin. Does color matter? Absolutely it matters. Absolutely. Absolutely it matters. Look at these. Ooh, look at this one. Look at these angels. See this? Black men. Look at the ones in the tomb. You see that? Now, people will say, well, when you die, you get black. No. White or Caucasian people get whiter. So-called black man gets blacker when he's sick or when he's died. You see that in a funeral. Have you ever been to a funeral and you walk by the casket? I don't do that anymore since I've been in the truth. I don't walk by the caskets at all. If I go to a church, even though I'm unclean for 7 days by being under the roof, I will not walk up to the casket unless it's my immediate family. I will walk outside the church or whatever. I still go to those just to give, honor to the brothers and sisters who came before me. All right. But look at this. Dark skin. See these men? Black men. This is in Russian icons. I just want you to look at that. The angels are black. Did y'all know that? It's not just Christ, Yahweh Shai, or Jesus Christ that we're worried about that's black. All the Israelites are black. All of them. Including the angels. Including the angels. Including the Most High. In Daniel chapter 10, verse 5, it says, and his arms like in color. In color. In color. Not translucent. In translucent like the so-called white man. In color. To polish brass. We have to understand that the word of the Most High does not go out void. Someone is going to understand it. Everyone ain't going to understand it, but some are going to understand why he put that in the Bible. And that's our job to teach it. Let's go to another book. I think I want to go to this book here. It's called Early Spanish Manuscripts, Illumination. This is our brothers down in Mexico. Now, there's a dispute amongst brothers in Mexico not being our brethren, but a lot of brothers in Mexico are our brethren. You got to understand, when we talk about brothers of Puerto Rico are from the tribe of Ephraim, are we saying all the Puerto Ricans? Not all the Puerto Ricans. Not all bird brains. Okay? Puerto Rican, there's a remnant, a small remnant in Puerto Rico, in the Dominican, in Jamaica, in Mexico, in Chile, okay, in Guatemala. There is a remnant of brethren that are there that are Israelites. Israelites. You got to hear that word because a lot of y'all don't know that word, Israelites. And a lot of y'all think it is a bad word when Christ, Paul, Moses, all of them were Israelites. That was our nationality, and we were proud of it. Now, inside this book, we're going to see that they have a posting of the Varanay. Now, how the Varanay is in Europe. So how did these Mexican brothers come up with this? They show that the Most High is black, Yahushua is black, those on his right are black, those on his left are black. This is Judgment Day. Okay? They show down below the angels have woolly hair. Okay? They show the Edomites going into captivity. See that? That's an angel. See his woolly hair? Look at his face. I want y'all to see. I don't want the phone to blur if I'm getting too close to the camera here. But look at his face. Look at these people here. They're Edomites, all Edomites, along with the devil. Now, how could they get that way over in America that's from Europe? Okay, look at that. Black man. And when I say black man, I'm talking about the Native Americans. I'm talking about the Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans, the Guatemalans. All of them have ties to the so-called Negro. Okay? The original. They are seeds of the Israelites. And when I say all of them, notice I'm quoting it like the scripture says, and 1/3 of Israel shall be saved, and 2/3 shall be cut off and die. The Most High said the 1/3 will be all. Look at this. You didn't think that the Christ that we just saw was black enough? Look at this. That's Christ and his angels. This is down in Mexico. This is our Mexican brothers. See that? Black man. This is how they portray Hamashiach Yahushua. School of thought, just understanding. Now, I said to you that the Varanay, they took that from the Varanay. I have the book, the Varanay. I have a lot of books, brother. All the books that I have been hand-selected for the truth. I have no just stupid books. Now, I have some autobiographies. I can show y'all some books.